A group of men is packing up and preparing evergreen trees for transport in Tennessee, while a woman wearing a purple dress is playing the violin. A man walking through the evergreen tree farm suddenly falls on the floor. In California, a bunch of people enters the office. They are getting ready for the shooting. A woman named Babette, who seems to be a music star, sends Evie, the woman who was playing the violin just a second ago, to go get her some coffee. Evie goes to the coffee shop nearby, where her friend Shay works. They have a little chat and Shay talks about the acting audition for a commercial he attended. Evie's phone is ringing, and it seems to be her dad who is trying to get her to come home for Thanksgiving. She decides not to answer the phone right now, and she asks Shay if he is ready to take her order. As Evie is on her way back to work, her granddad calls her and tells her to immediately come home to Tennessee. Judging by the look on her face, he told her some bad news, and she drops her phone and the coffee she was carrying. Evie is at the Tennessee airport, and her granddad, who she calls Pops, comes to pick her up. Pops tells her dad would have liked her to keep her chin up. Shay appears, carrying Evie's baggage. She introduces him to Pops as her boyfriend. Pops asks Shay if he can ride in the back of their truck, along with the family dog, as there are only 2 seats in the car. During the ride, Pops asks Evie when her new album is coming out, but she seems reluctant to talk about it. They arrive at the farm, and Pops wants to prepare a spare room for Shay, but Shay prefers staying with Evie. Evie is looking at some family photos, and she recalls her mother leaving them. Miss Honey, Pop's wife, is there to comfort her and bid her welcome. Evie wakes up in the middle of the night and finds her brother Thomas playing a ballad. The next day, everyone is at the funeral, and Evie stays a bit longer after everyone leaves. Back at the house, guests are arriving after the funeral service to honor Evie's father. Shay is trying to catch some Wi-Fi and chatting with Pops. A guy named Adam Malloy appears at the door, and Evie is surprised to see him. He brought some apple pie and he tells Evie he will miss her father a lot. At the table, everyone is having dinner and talking. Shay finds out Evie is kind of an internet star in this part of the country. Evie's family wants to know what Shay's profession is, and he talks about his acting career feeling a bit awkward. There seems to be a bit of a rivalry between Adam and Shay, even though they have only met each other. Adam tells everyone at the table he recently finished law school, and Evie's brother Thomas announces he has a new band with the name Gypsy Moth. Everyone is about to leave, and Miss Honey asks one of the guests, Angel, to take Annabelle home, a girl who helped with the preparation of the dinner. Pops unexpectedly starts telling an anecdote and gets very emotional. The story is about Owen, Evie's father, who had a little donkey when he was a boy, that he insisted on naming Jesus. He once lost the donkey and kept going through the street and asking people if they found Jesus. Pops concludes his talk by saying no father should have to bury his son. Angel is walking Annabelle home through the woods, and he tells her the Mayan myth about the sun and moon god and goddess, and how they fell in love. Annabelle doesn't think it's a good idea for Angel to walk her all the way home, and soon it becomes clear why. Her father appears at the door and shouts at her to get in. Shay wakes Evie up early in the morning to go running. Once they return, Pops tells Evie they need to talk. She sits by the table next to Pops, her brother Thomas, and some lawyers accompanied by Adam. The lawyers tell them the farm they inherited is worth a lot, but due to taxes, they are $200,000 short. They suggest selling the property, but Adam and Pops are opposed to that proposition. The lawyers also let the Lee family know Evie, being the oldest sibling, is in charge of the farm. Evie and Shay are shopping in a supermarket and discussing what she should do with the farm when her phone rings. Evie's employer Babette is calling to let her know she needs her at work. They run into Evie's old acquaintance, Becky, who owns the second biggest tree farm in the area. Once she hears Evie is now in charge of the farm, she gives Evie her card and says they should meet and talk. Becky also points out she couldn't attend Owen's funeral because she was out on business. Shay and Evie are in a diner, and Shay is complaining about there being gluten in everything on the menu. The waiter brings the food and Evie is surprised because they didn't order anything yet. But then she recognizes Uncle Joe, who brought her favorite food. Adam is also working in a diner due to not passing his big law exam yet, and he takes orders from Shay and Evie. Shay wants to know about Evie's musical career everyone is talking about, and she tells him she once applied for a music contest, sent her video, and won. Shay wants them to go to a Christmas karaoke. Annabelle goes to visit Angel while he is doing some metal work, and he seems pretty happy to see her. Angel explains his family will probably stay here until the new year, and will then keep moving through the country. He shares he would like to go to an art school in town. Annabelle seems reluctant to talk about issues with her father, and Angel tells he is there for her. Annabelle drops by to help Miss Honey with making salad and sandwiches, and Miss Honey notices bruises on her hand. In front of the house, Shay tries to climb the tree to catch the network, and falls. A bit later, Shay is fishing on the lake and Adam joins him. Shay, who still hasn't caught a fish, is surprised to learn he needs to use a fish to catch a fish. Adam invites him for a poker night with Pops and some of the guys. Evie takes some time off and walks by herself through the planted evergreen trees. She encounters Thomas, who is sitting on a chair and writing music. He explains the lyrics come easy for him, but he is struggling with melody. Evie really likes his lyrics and she offers to help come up with the melody. Thomas refuses her help because she is not folk anymore, and proceeds to get really upset because Evie left home years ago. They get into an argument and Thomas leaves. Shay and the guys are playing poker and Shay wins the game and thanks the guys for inviting him. The group starts leaving one by one, until only Adam and Shay are left. They decide to play table tennis. They are both competitive and hoping to win, and being completely immersed in the game, Shay falls through the table. Just like every morning, Shay is trying to wake Evie up to go running with her, but this time she refuses and yells at him. Shay goes by himself and runs into a donkey that chases him. Once he returns, he tells Evie he would like them to leave this place, not just because of the farm animals chasing him, but also because he feels Evie has changed ever since they got here. Evie doesn't seem to listen to him much and she walks out to find some coffee. Evie tries to start her car but the engine won't turn on. She decides to walk on foot and runs into Becky, who wants Evie to sell the farm to her. Evie and Shay arrive at the karaoke bar, and Shay is super excited and ready to sing. Evie stays by the bar and Adam joins her. He informs her he passed his exam, and they end up talking about their past relationship and how Evie abandoned him. They have an honest conversation and Adam offers to take her home, while Shay stays in the bar. Shay comes home a bit drunk and looking for Evie. He wants them to leave in the morning and gives her an ultimatum, but Evie decides to stay. In the morning, Shay packs up his things and puts them in the truck. Once he sees Evie, he believes she changed her mind, but she came to apologize for getting him involved in her drama. They end their relationship on good terms, and Shay gets a call confirming he got a role in one of his auditions. Adam is working in the diner when Becky drops by, who wants to know if Evie has already left the town, and she shows Adam the contract she has ready for Evie to sign. Adam is surprised to hear Evie would ever sell the farm. Annabelle and Angel are having fun by the field of planted trees. Angel reveals he's staying a bit longer because he signed up for the spring semester in art school. They are running through the trees, and Annabelle is amazed by the sight of butterflies around the trees, but Angel realizes those are not butterflies and gets worried. Becky arrives at the Lee family's residence, but Evie assures her she is not interested in selling the farm. Before leaving, Becky warns Evie she always gets what she wants. Angel and Annabelle rush to inform everyone about the butterflies, which are in fact gypsy moths. Annabelle's father unexpectedly appears, violently trying to take Annabelle away from Angel due to him being illegal. Miss Honey and Pops interfere and tell him Annabelle is staying with them. Later at night, Evie is playing the piano and going through some of her childhood photos. Pops walks in and they talk about Evie's father, and how he also left city life and came to live in the countryside. Pops explains Owen wanted to have something to pass on to his kids. Back in her room, Evie is looking at a high school photo of herself, the one in which she is holding a microphone. The next day, the Lee family and many others gather by the farm trees to solve the issue of gypsy moths. The group prepares the spraying equipment and makes a plan of action. A man from the Department of Agriculture arrives and Miss Honey walks him in. While he is waiting in the kitchen, she runs to inform Evie about the inspector being here. He investigates some of the trees and tells Evie they will need to quarantine a part of a field. Afterward, the inspector goes to drink coffee in the diner and chats with Adam about having to disappoint a young lady that will probably lose her farm. Adam storms into Becky's office and tells Becky he won't allow her to carry on with her plan. Evie and Thomas are calculating the costs, and Pops appears with a check. It's the money he got by selling his favorite historical gun, but he says it's all right, because the family's what matters. A donkey named Jesus returns to the Lee family and everyone is amazed. Adam and Joe arrive as well and give Evie their share of the money for the trees. They also brought many friends to buy the trees for Christmas. Pops and Miss Honey become Annabelle's temporary legal guardians. The whole community is celebrating Christmas and sings Christmas songs. Evie goes on the stage, holds a short speech dedicated to her late father, and sings a song with lyrics written by her brother, Thomas. Everyone is in cheerful spirits. Angel gives Annabelle a necklace he made for her, and Adam and Evie, whose full name is revealed to be Eve, kiss.